on some things. Have you ever had somebody recommend a book to you, Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah.
You ever read it?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah. Do you think it had a positive effect on you?
Yeah, definitely. I remember from the book, I remember it was a story where he talked about a 5-year-old uh black girl, and she was speaking to a landowner, plantation owner, and she asked for her mother's 50 cent, and he was like, no. And she was like, I'm not leaving for my mama's 50 cent. He was like, no. And then he went all the way to the girl, and he thought she was gonna run, and she stood solid and said, my mom need her 50 cent. And he went in his pocket and gave it to her. And he was saying that I guess her energy, and you know what I mean, that it
Mm.
kind of like took him for shock. So that made me, yeah, it really definitely was a good book. Had some good
Mm.
stories in there.
Yeah, I ain't really get that story to be honest with you. Maybe
You
I'm
didn't get
missing
that one?
something. I'm sipping a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe I'm slow, but he he said that he was even a mentor to President Woodrow Wilson and Roosevelt.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but The Secret is based on that book.
The Secret?
Yeah, is based on Think and Grow Rich by
What
Napoleon Hill.
secret?
You never heard of the book The Secret? It's kind of like
Oh, yeah, I
like
get you. I'm thinking you mean you telling me a secret. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. A lot of people that I see that are successful have recommended the book, quoted the book. So I never got around to reading it, but you could imagine how surprised I was when I found out that Napoleon Hill is a goddamn fraud.
No.
Yes, man. Like the whole book is based on him meeting with Andrew Carnegie, and Andrew Carnegie's biographer says that he has no proof that that meeting ever happened. And remember, he claimed that he was a
Wow.
mentor to Woodrow Wilson and Roosevelt. He
Yeah.
probably never even met them. The guy even claimed to have coined the phrase, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." I don't think that that's true. And there's actually a
Wow.
deeper story here about Napoleon Hill. That whole think and grow rich thing. The power of your mind and broke just being a mindset. All of that bullshit
Right.
actually was a front for a cult. So it gets way darker than that. But do you see how you could be slow walked into some cult shit and you
Yeah.
don't even realize it? Like it sounds like good on the surface, but now that we're being more shrewd, more critical, and we're re-examining stuff, everything has to be called into question. And Napoleon Hill, he might have been one of the greatest scam artists that ever existed.
Are you
He
serious?
even had like Andrew Tate. You know how Andrew Tate had that Hustler University? He
Yeah.
had something called the that was
Carnegie
referred to as the
University.
well, it was, I think it was like Great Automobile College is what it was called. But there was a good article in Gizmodo, uh, and Gizmodo is a highly factual website, but they uh, they make people work for free, then promise them high paying jobs. Doesn't that sound familiar? Like it's
Yeah.
an internship, but once you finish this internship, you're gonna be able to get a job making blah 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 blah, and then there ain't really no jobs. They're just really getting free labor out of people. That's the
Yes.
type of shit Napoleon Hill was on, and he was constantly broke, and he even went to jail for a stock scheme before.
Are you serious?
Yes, man. He
Got
made
locked
up
up?
this. Bro, the man fabricated this whole story and wrote a book. And think about how many years people are out here recommending Think and Grow Rich, thinking that this motherfucker was on to something.
Well, he
Look,
did think. Wait, hold on. He did
man,
have something where he said on there about saying, I guess it was affirmations. I think that was pretty
yeah, that's what
positive.
I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's that woohoo type stuff
Yeah.
that might end up being a damn cult. And
Right.
there's evidence that he had a cult going on. Let me see. I want to direct people to where they could
That's crazy.
read up on it because
Yeah,
we
I
got
want
to
to
put
read
the
up on
if
that.
yeah, we got to put people up on shit. You know what I'm saying? This is something that blew my mind. So every time people tune in, I want to drop something that I feel like, yo, you can remember. Left Field Israel with the real spiel, put your ass on. Feel me? Gave you something to think about. Even if you don't agree with me, I gave your ass something to think about.
Israel.
Yeah. But look, man, this is a Gizmodo article, right?
Yeah.
It's a very lengthy article, and they go into like his whole life story. I'll just read the opener. Napoleon Hill is most famous. Napoleon Hill is the most famous con man you've probably never heard of. Born in poverty in rural Virginia in the end of the 19th century, Hill went on to write one of the most successful self-help books of the 20th century, Think and Grow Rich. In fact, he helped invent the genre, but it's the untold story of Hill's fraudulent business practices, tawdry sex life, and membership in a New York cult that makes him so fascinating. The cult will become infamous in the late 1930s for trying to raise an immortal baby. But even those who know the story of immortal baby Gene may not know the cult was inspired by Hill's teaching, practically using his most famous work as their holy text. Don't worry, the whole story of Napoleon Hill only gets weirder from there. And if you think this is just, I'm gonna stop sharing that. But Gizmodo, look that up. I'm gonna stop sharing that. But if you think I'm just pulling this shit out of my ass, I don't want to use that type of language. Hold on.
That's crazy.
I want to show somebody. I want to show y'all something, a little trick, because a lot of research that people claim to do, I'm not impressed by what these people consider to be research in any way. Right? I'm not impressed by it. So I want to give y'all some game. You can't just believe anything that's on the website, right? You want to really research the source so you're properly vetting and evaluating your sources, right? So if we go here to media fact check, this is a place that I use sometimes to vet some sources that I haven't been following that long, just to get a feel for what they're doing. Let me see. And you can enter it in. Let's see, search. Yeah, search. I'm gonna put in Gizmodo. You see what I got going on, bro?
Yeah. Gizmodo.
Okay, search results for Gizmodo. All right, I'm gonna read more.
Left bias.
Oh yeah,
Media.
left bias for sure. Every source is gonna be biased some way, left or right. I prefer left bias, but you know I read the right bias shit sometimes too. Now look, you got when it comes to factual reporting, the highest level you got is very high. Then there's high. Then there's mostly factual. Then there's mixed. Then there's low. Then there's very low. They have a rating of high when it comes to factual reporting. That's important to me. I don't mind that they're left leaning because, you know, I have a problem with that. Overall, we rate Gizmodo as left bias based on editorial positions that almost always favor the left, and high for factual reporting due to proper sourcing and clean fact check record. So I really don't care if they favor the left if they always saying something that's real. So that's how I vetted Gizmo as a source because I wasn't familiar with them before, but I'll definitely be messing with them now. And yeah, it's something that we could read in its entirety, but I think that that's a story that needs to be told, man. I like to kind of expose the con man. He was an old school con man, but we're seeing guys like Andrew Tate, that's like a hero to young boys and stuff like that. We're seeing guys like I'll put Boyce Watkins in that trick bag, you know what I'm saying? I'll put Umar Johnson in there. I'll put Dr. Sabi in there. That's how I'm rocking.
So who you don't put in there? See, this where I understand where you're coming from, but this where it gets tricky. Do you put Martin Luther King in there?
Nah, I wouldn't consider my
Wow.
comment.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't consider
Because
my
there's some
comment.
people. There is some people that says, that Martin Luther King was a con. You know.
Well, I'd be open to hearing their arguments. If it was compelling, I would go with it. But I think this might be a time to go ahead and get on up out of here. We're at an hour and 7 minutes.
All right, man.
Before we
Yeah.
go in on Martin, I just wanted to just kind of close on Napoleon.
Yeah. I ain't want to go in on Martin. I'm just,
It seemed like you had a little pressure for Martin.
I don't got no. I'm just when you saying Dr. Umar, you mentioning all of our new, you mentioning our today people
Look.
that
I went
listen.
in on Napoleon. I dropped science on him. I dropped things that we could verify. When I go in on Umar, I'll drop some things that I kind of disagree with that Umar says. I don't think he's on the up and up. You know, I don't think he's the best guy that we could be listening to in the black community. No, I don't rate him highly. He's not a thought leader to me.
I don't
You
think
look up
he's.
the
I
see
don't think
we
he's.
get into go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think everybody. There's no perfect people in the world. I
Yeah,
get you.
look, man, you sound like you drinking the Kool-Aid, man. You feel me? If you fuck with him, I could
I ain't
really
saying
get into it. Go ahead.
I'm not saying I mess with him. I'm just letting. I gotta. We have to kind of separate. You get what I'm saying when we trying to think that just give me a basis.
You got your list. I got mine.
Yeah,
Napoleon Hill's
I ain't
on there.
got.
I'm saying Sabian Dr. Umar's on there. I can
Yeah.
defend why I'm saying that. We can go into it when we got a little bit more time, but I just wanted to stop on Napoleon Hill. That's just one person I wanted to kind of
Yeah,
get out the way.
just
You
get
feel
him
me
out
for
the way.
today?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
we
just.
could go. We could
Yo,
deal with Umar on another day. I don't have a problem with that.
all
You
of
know what I'm saying?
our Dr.
Yeah, look.
Sabi, you
Yeah,
was
we
going
could
in.
look. We could go in on him too another day. I got time, but just not right now.
Right, got you. I would love to hear that. Love to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get into it.
So yeah, man, we're gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all remember, stay good on health, wealth, and a deeper understanding of self. And hope you found some good way to solve problems and understand the fake news out here, right? And
Yeah,
everything
I
ain't
hope he
sweet.
dropped the gem or two. You know what I'm saying? Somebody picked
Keep
it
it
up.
moving. Yeah. That's all we try to do. Try to get you from point A to point B. You know?
Okay.
All right, Cat, you want to close them out?
Yeah. Be good. Take care of yourself. True news and reviews.
Peace.